Hey everybody, this is Andrea Jenson from the Cash Flow CFO, and you're listening to the Cash Flow CFO Podcast, the show that explores the financial side of running a business for people who want to maximize profitability and scale with confidence. If you want to make smart financial decisions based on data and put more of your hard-earned profits into your pocket, this is the podcast for you. This episode of the Cash Flow CFO podcast is brought to you by the Cash Flow CFO. Did you know that on average, business owners have up to 84% of their personal net worth tied up in their business? Our virtual CPAs and CFOs, as well as accounting and bookkeeping experts, empower business owners just like you to make big leaps that help them maximize profitability and scale with confidence. Visit thecashflowcfo.com for more information, and thank you for listening.
Well, step 3 in preparing to sell is now you have to take action to find a solution to close that gap, right? So there's lots of ways you can do it. I'm going to walk you through some actions you can take right now in your business to be able to close that gap and start to, I think a lot of people overestimate what they can do in a year and they underestimate what they can do in 3. And if you're doing this exercise right now in preparing to sell your business, then you have the perfect amount of time for a 2-year or a 3-year exit. Is it going to be, roll up your sleeves and really get to work? Yeah, it is. But I hope you see that the payoff, $747,000 or $4.5 million, it's quite a big difference. And it's a very big difference in how you're going to live your life, right? All right. So action number 1, make sure your prices are set for profitability. And 2, I put this on here because it's so important. And we see it so often. Too many business owners don't know the true cost of delivering what they're selling. Therefore, they do not price it right. So let me walk you through an example of this. You are an engineer. You have an engineering firm and you offer 3 different services. If you have not sat down and taken the time to say, service number 1, here's how we deliver it. Here's all the team members. Here's their pay rates. Here's how many hours it takes. Here's all of the specific software that we have to use. Here's all of the, maybe you're going out to a job site to actually do measurements and do, gather the data that you need for your engineering reports. You have to pull every single cost that goes into delivering that service to make sure that your pricing is set correctly. So when you do that, then you make sure that, I always tell our clients, like every dollar in revenue equals 100% to allocate in your business, right? So every dollar in revenue has to get allocated proportionately to your cost of goods sold, your general and administrative expenses, your marketing expenses, and your profit. And most people go, wait, profit? Why are you putting profit in there? Well, most business owners don't actually know what the purpose of profit is in their business. And so when we talk about profit, it's got to do a lot of the heavy lifting that you don't see on your P&L. So if you have debt that needs to be serviced, right? You've got a loan out, maybe you have an idle loan, maybe you have a line of credit, maybe you have credit card payments. Those payments, and actually let's take credit cards out of there. Let's just talk about loans where there's principal and interest. That interest is going to show up as an expense on your P&L, but that loan payment that you're making, that's on your balance sheet. So it's not on your P&L. So when you look at, okay, I made, $500,000 in sales. I had $400,000 in expenses. Okay, I know how much my profit is. That profit has to cover all of your debt service. In addition, it has to cover paying income taxes. It has to be money that you're earmarking for reinvestment, right? So maybe you need more fixed assets. Maybe you need to buy new machinery, new equipment. Maybe you need to hire more team and it takes 45 days before they're actually client facing and producing revenue. Like these are all of the components of what that profit bucket has to service. So, and then distributions is the fourth one, right? So we've got cost of goods sold, general and administrative, marketing, and profit. And then profit gets further split down into servicing debt, paying income taxes, distributions, and reinvestment into growth. So you've got a lot of ways you need to stretch that 100%, and you're going to allocate it in between what your business model requires to be profitable. And so that's something that a CFO, for example, that's right in their wheelhouse. That's what they do. That's what we do for our clients. And it's super, super important. But the first step in making sure you have enough profit or enough percent allocation in all of those buckets is to make sure that your pricing is set correctly. So in order to do that, we have a pricing analysis template that we're going to provide for you. And this is something that you can walk through, and it's going to give you step by step how to do this exercise. You fill it out with your information on your revenue streams, and you're going to understand, am I pricing my products correctly, or do I need to raise my prices? 99% of the time, you need to raise your prices. So we'll talk more about that later. So the second action that you need to do is you need to invest in your future. So there's a lot of other factors that contribute to increasing your cash flow and your earnings potential. But really what you need to do is you need to be looking at this as this business is an asset. Right now, I can sell it for $750,000, or I can hold it and do all the things to increase the value of that asset. That's going to give me that higher payday, down the road. And so that's where our predictable profit planner comes in. Because if you understand all the components that go into how to create a business that is profitable from the beginning, right? Why sell anything if you're not profitable? Why waste the energy and the staff time and commitment and all the things, right? Your sales, there's so much that goes into a business, so much heavy lifting that we do. If you're not pricing things and you're not profitable, like, why bother? Doesn't make any sense. But so many business owners don't go through these steps that we're going to outline for you in our predictable profit planner, and they miss the mark on setting up their business in a profitable way that's going to give them a nice payday now and a nice payday in the future. So we're going to share this with you as well, but I think it's important to kind of give you an overview of how do you increase the valuation of your business? You go through these steps. And these are the exact things that every business needs in order to be as profitable as possible. And the beauty of that is once you understand all the different levers that you can pull in your business to increase the profitability of every sale that you make, then it just becomes a rinse and repeat process, right? If you understand, okay, if I invest another $50,000 in my marketing, I know exactly what's going to happen to my bottom line, right? You've got that predictability in your business, and that is what buyers want. They want to understand, how does this whole business model work, and how do I know that I'm going to be profitable if I buy this business from you? And that is going to be the number one thing that sets you apart from all of the other businesses that are out there for sale, because nobody wants to buy a business and then have to fix a million things, right? If you can make your business as attractive as possible and as functional and profitable, you're going to be light years ahead of all of your other competition out there selling their businesses at the same time. So let me walk you through a little bit of what we have here. We have this broken down into 5 different modules. And the reason that we do that is because they layer on top of each other, just like building blocks. And you have to go through them in the phases that they're listed, because we're pulling apart all the different components of your business model and we're putting it back together in the most ideal way possible so that the business runs smooth. And we're starting to pull out metrics, data points. What's telling us that things are working the way that they're supposed to? That's what this is going to provide for us. So when we look at a profit roadmap, that's our first module. And that's essentially, we just walked you through a lot of what goes into creating that profit roadmap. If you understand where you want to be financially in your business with this asset that is your business, in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, we can 100% get you there, but we've got to have clarity of what does success look like 1, 3, 5 years down the road. That is going to be the profit roadmap. And from there, we're going to understand for you, the owner, are you paying yourself? How are you paying yourself according to the business entity that the structure you've put in place? Is it the right amount? What are your personal goals, right? Ultimately, whether you're going to sell your business or not, the ultimate goal of having this asset is to move the money from active generated income into passive generated income, right? So I don't think enough business owners look at it that way. They look at it as, oh, I want to do what I want to do and I'm creating a job for myself. But you're really creating an asset, and that asset could have a lot of value for you in the future. But we have to look at also how much do you need to be coming out of the business right now. And so that's all part of the profit roadmap that we're building for you. So months 1 and 2, we're getting in there. We're doing a lot of due diligence things, right? There's a lot here. Don't get scared by all these bullet points on here, because the nice thing is, you, the business owner, when you hire a CFO, you don't have to do this. They do it for you, right? So you just need to know right now, what are all of the things that go into getting you to where you need to be. So months 1 and 2, I'm not going to go into all the details here. You can see the most important thing here is a current year revenue projection, a current year cash flow, and a budget. Right? Because if we want to drive from San Diego to Los Angeles, we need to know what turns do we make? Which streets do we take? What freeways do we get on? That's a cash flow and a budget, right? Every month we're looking at, what did we think was going to happen? What really happened? Do we need to make any adjustments? Plain and simple.
Start scaling with confidence today. The Cash Flow CFO is a full-service accounting and fractional CFO firm. So it goes without saying that our financial experts are phenomenal at number crunching. But more than that, they are expert communicators who will connect all those complicated financial dots in a way that just makes sense. We don't wait in the wings and check in every so often either. With our boutique approach, we position ourselves front and center, watching over every dollar that comes in and out of your business as if it was our own. So if your business is making money and you're ready to take it to the next level, but you're not sure you completely understand your numbers, and you're looking for that trusted guide to help you build a roadmap to reach your financial goals, it sounds like we would be a great fit. Visit thecashflowcfo.com and let's get started empowering you to build and scale your business the way you want to today.
So the second part of that is going to be the pricing for profits. So lucky you, we're sharing one of our resources already, so you can start to work on this in your business. That's a DIY solution. We offer a done-for-you solution. So that would be our team going through and pulling the data, going through and scrubbing your numbers for you so that we can pull that information, put all that together, and then that way you're able to go through and understand, and we'll help you set your pricing. We'll make recommendations. We're going to look at what's going on in the world. What are your competitors charging? What's the ceiling that you can charge that people will pay for that service? And make sure that, you've got a business model that works. Sometimes that's an adjustment you have to make as well, right? A pivot, but it's a profitable one. And without that visibility, you would never know you need to, and you're just going to keep selling and not have enough margins in your business. So for, skip over to that one, we're doing a revenue matrix, a staff utilization schedule. If you are a service-based business, you absolutely need to have a staff utilization schedule that you are looking at and using as a tool every month in your business. That's going to tell you the maximum revenue you can generate based on your current staff workload. A COGS analysis, cost of goods analysis. We need to understand how much does it cost you to deliver every single thing that you're selling, and to make sure that your profit and loss statement is set up in such a way that you can identify the profitability of every revenue stream. Pricing analysis and balance sheet ratios, right? Because all businesses at some point need financing. And what do the banks look at? Ratios. So we want to make sure that we're proactive on those and we have them lined up for you. And we're working on making incremental changes that are going to help strengthen your ratios should you go out for financing. Months 5 and 6, a marketing profit connection. This one is so big, so important. And if you've ever worked with a CFO service before, I can almost guarantee they're not looking at this data. This is a leading indicator of what is going to happen, sales, revenue generation in your business. And if you're not looking at that on a monthly basis, then you are missing 40% of the whole equation of your business. Okay. So that consists of leads matrix, right? We need to understand, where are our leads coming from? How much are we spending on those leads? And what are they converting at? We're going to look at the conversion rate of overall of your sales. We're going to break that down into leads, cold leads to warm leads to a sales call to revenue, right? Lots of conversion rates all along the way in your sales pipeline. And you need to see that. You need to have clarity of maybe you're missing, there's a big drop off in one of those sections of your sales pipeline. If you're not tracking it, you're not going to see, and you're just going to be throwing marketing dollars and it's going to be a waste. There'll be no return on that investment. We want to look at your customer lifetime value. We want to look at your customer retention rate. We want to look at what should that entire marketing budget look like, right? When we talked about every dollar in revenue equals 100%, one of the big buckets that we're allocating a certain percentage to is marketing. And we need to understand, okay, when we break down based on your sales goals, right? How much revenue you want to generate in 12 months. Then we say, okay, how many of each of your services or products do we need to sell to hit that revenue goal? And then we back into what's your sales conversion rate currently for each of those? How many leads do you need? And then marketing budget. What is your customer acquisition? That's the connecting piece between my marketing budget and my sales activity, my marketing and my sales activity. And months 7 through 10, we're building out the KPIs, the key performance indicators. We want our business owners to have clear visibility into what is happening in their business and how is each piece of it functioning. So if we look at a financial dashboard, for example, we want to understand the KPIs between sales, marketing, our operational KPIs, our financial KPIs. These are all things that every business owner needs to have their finger on the pulse of. So what this does is when you have KPIs and they're set up correctly and they're the right KPIs for your business model, you don't have to spend time digging through your P&L and your balance sheet and all those ratios and all those other things. You need to look at your KPIs every month, and it's a red light or a green light. If it's a green light, then cool. You don't have to spend any time in that function of your business. Move on to the next one. When you see a red light, that's where you should spend all of your time fixing that KPI. And when you dig into the KPIs, then you can see, okay, what are the variables that create this KPI? Which one is off? Now you've just zeroed in on where your business needs an adjustment. You make that adjustment next month, monitor and adjust, monitor and adjust. And that is how you get predictable profits. So this one's my favorite, of course, months 11 and 12, expand wealth and impact. So by the time we've gotten to this point, you understand all the components that go into your business model, how to be as profitable as possible with your current business model. And it really becomes now a strategy time, right? How are we doing tax strategy? Who are you working with? How is that being implemented in the business? The CFO is the quarterback for all of those components. We're looking at, your 3 and 5 year forecast. And at this point, this is where our clients go, oh, did I say I wanted to make 5 million in 3 years? Let's change that to 8 million, because now they understand all the components of how to get to 8 million. And it's not so scary anymore, right? They understand all the levers that they need to pull, when and how much it's going to cost them as they reinvest their profits into growth. And it just becomes this beautiful cog, well-oiled machine there. And this is also the personal wealth component, right? We've made this business model very profitable. And now we are talking more about how do we move it from active income into passive income. And so how are we pulling money out of the business in the most tax advantageous way? Are we setting up different retirement plans, insurance plans? Like that's where it gets to the fun part, right? It's like, I made this money. Now, how do I spend it as wisely as I can and transition it from, the business active to personal passive? So that's a lot. I just covered about how to close the gap, right? We're increasing the value of the business by implementing all of these things. And we've done it several times. It's one of our favorite things to do is to get our clients from, they have this vision and this goal that they're like, I really just want to, sell the business and whatever it may look like, right? What's that next chapter of their life going to be once they're not, working this business, this asset. And I've highlighted two of our exits here, and they're both different, right? They had different reasons they wanted to exit. They were at different stages in life, and they really just were looking at it from, I've built this incredible asset and now I'm ready to go do the next thing. But I want to make sure that my payday for that asset and all of that work that I did is been worth it, right? And so we've been able to work with them, increase the valuation of their business, and ultimately hold their hand through that whole due diligence and exit process. And I have to tell you, being on that conference call when the seller says, okay, I'm hitting transfer on the wire, and then the buyer says that, and then the seller says, our client, the seller says, okay, yep, I see it in the bank. And it's just like, that's the coolest thing ever. And if you've never experienced that, if you go through this process with somebody who has been there before, knows all the components of it, can hold your hand through that process, it is such an enjoyable experience. As opposed to, I've seen and heard so many stories of how nerve-wracking and sleepless nights that sellers had because they got all this information and they're like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what they're even asking me for, not having somebody there that can guide them through the process. So when we created the Cash Flow CFO, we did it for two very, very important reasons. Number one, you're reading it right here on these testimonials, right? This is, makes us the most happy and is really like, for our number nerd brains, this is the ultimate, like, we did it. And the second thing is we see too many business owners. They don't have access to this information and they're playing, a gambling game with their entire future, their family's livelihood, their livelihood. Just, it's a very scary thing to hear people going at it alone, or they haven't been building towards this goal of an exit, which means they haven't done all the things that they can do to strengthen the valuation of their business. So we don't want our fellow business owners to find themselves in that situation. And so that is why we do what we do. And we'd love to do it for you. So if you're serious about selling your business, reach out. It's absolutely free. Get on the phone with us, find out, where you're at, where you want to go, and what are the steps that you need to take to close that gap. And I guarantee you're going to look at it and go, oh my gosh, this costs so much less than I thought, because in our heads, we make it this big, scary thing. And it's really not. It's really an investment in a greater return that you're going to have if you sell your business with the right pieces in place. You're building the value in it, and you really understand all the components of what a buyer is looking for, and you can window dress, for lack of better terms, right? You want to set up your business as profitable and all the things buttoned up that a buyer is going to be looking for. And it's going to be a really fun process for you to go through selling your business. So if you're serious about selling, give us a call. We can give you some information and really help you to, get on that process to close the gap right away. Because like I said, the competition for selling is just going to get bigger and bigger as more baby boomers are exiting. And so you want to get a jump start on this now. So Thank you so much for your time. I hope you found all this information super valuable. And, if you have questions, reach out, book a call. Here's all of our information. I would love to go through and answer any questions that you have specific to your business. So with that, Dory, I think we are at the end and we'll wrap it up here.
Fantastic. What powerful information for business owners. Even though it's a lot, it's actually quite simple when it's broken down in this way. And we talk to business owners all the time who are hiring marketing experts and hiring sales teams and hiring admin and operations support. And this just highlights how important that financial support is to take your business to the next level. So absolutely love it. Thank you so much, everyone. And we hope to hear from you. Let's sell your business.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and review, and we'll catch you on the next episode. If you're looking for more content or resources in the meantime, check out our website for information, blogs, and our I've Got a Spreadsheet for That series. That's thecashflowcfo.com. Again, thecashflowcfo.com. We can't wait to hear from you.